थोड़ा सा आगे।
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to this press statement event. To begin the proceedings, may I request the Honorable External Affairs Minister of India to deliver her statement to the press.
Thank you, Ravish. Her Excellency Gang Gyung-hwa, Foreign Minister of Republic of Korea, members of Korean and Indian delegations, friends from media. Namaskar and a very good afternoon. Friends, I am very happy to welcome Foreign Minister Gang to India. We have just concluded the 9th India-Korea Joint Commission Meeting. It is a useful mechanism for the two foreign ministers to periodically review the overall gamut of bilateral relations and suggest new ideas and directions for our engagement. During Prime Minister Modi's visit to Republic of Korea in 2015, we had upgraded India-Korea relations to the level of special strategic partnership. When President Moon visited India in July this year, the two leaders unveiled their shared vision for our future partnership by emphasizing the 3 Ps: people, peace, and prosperity. These 3 Ps remained at the center of my discussions today with Foreign Minister Gang. The visit of the First Lady of Korea, Madam Kim, to India last month to take part in the Deepotsav festival and the groundbreaking ceremony for Queen Suriratna's new memorial in Ayodhya created new bridges connecting our two peoples. We expressed the hope that the recently unveiled visa on arrival facility in India for RoK citizens will further reinforce this contention. Friends, I took this opportunity to thank the people of Korea for honoring our Prime Minister with the Seoul Peace Prize. This, we believe, is an expression of affection of the people of Korea for the people of India. Friends, we also discussed possibilities for joint commemoration of 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi next year. Foreign Minister Gang and I reviewed the follow-up action on decisions taken during President Moon's visit to India and explored some new possibilities. We noted a number of tangible progress made in the fields of defense, economic engagement, consular matters, and other areas of our functional cooperation. We expressed satisfaction over the growth in the bilateral trade and investment over the past 2 years. We agreed to redouble our efforts to realize our leaders' vision of raising the quantum of our bilateral trade to $50 billion by the year 2030. We shared the view that early conclusion of ongoing negotiations to upgrade our bilateral comprehensive economic partnership agreement, that is CEPA, and implementation of trade facilitation measures already agreed upon will help us move towards this target. Friends, we also explored new avenues of Korean investment in India's infrastructure modernization. We encouraged Korean companies known for their technological feats and global outlook to create newer opportunities by partnering in Government of India's flagship initiatives such as Make in India, Skill India, Digital India, and Smart Cities. We discussed potential cooperation in the energy sector. As two large energy consumers of Asia, closer consultations between us serve our mutual interest in securing predictable energy supplies at stable prices. From the Indian side, we also extended an invitation for RoK to join the International Solar Alliance. Foreign Minister Gang and I also exchanged views on regional and global issues of common interest. I conveyed to Foreign Minister Gang that India sees RoK as an indispensable partner in its Act East policy and its vision of the Indo-Pacific. We both acknowledged the contemporary aspects of India's Act East policy and RoK's new Southern policy that creates a natural synergy for strengthening and creating new avenues for our cooperation, including in the wider region. We agreed on the importance of a free, open, peaceful, and rules-based order as being essential for achieving our common goal of peace, stability, and prosperity in our shared region and beyond. I reiterated Government of India's continued support to the efforts being made by President Moon to address the Korean nuclear issue and promote inter-Korean ties through dialogue and negotiation, and expressed our sincere hopes that these efforts will bear fruits to usher in a new era of peace and stability in the Korean Peninsula. Friends, we also shared the view that terrorism in all its forms and manifestations is a global scourge, and resolved to combat it through coordinated regional and global efforts. To conclude, I believe that our discussions today have laid a sound foundation for the sustained momentum of our special strategic partnership. I look forward to continuing my close consultations with Foreign Minister Gang to this end. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is now my pleasure to invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea to deliver her remarks to the media.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, Minister Swaraj, ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me first of all express my heartfelt gratitude to you, Minister Swaraj, for the very warm hospitality extended to me and my delegation. I'm indeed delighted to co-chair today's 9th Republic of Korea-India Foreign Ministers Joint Commission Meeting. The 8th was held 4 years ago in December 2014. Minister Swaraj had led the Indian delegation then, and it is my great honor to head the RoK delegation this time and to continue the dialogue with Minister Swaraj, who has brought much experience and insight to the discussion. RoK-India relations have made impressive and steady progress for the past 45 years since the establishment of diplomatic ties in 1973. They were upgraded to a special strategic partnership on the occasion of Prime Minister Modi's state visit to the Republic of Korea in 2015. And now, 3 years since then, our bilateral relationship is rising to a new level with the synergy generated between President Moon's new Southern policy and Prime Minister Modi's Act East policy, as demonstrated during the state visit to India by President Moon in July and First Lady Kim's visit in November this year. And this is all based upon the shared values of people, prosperity, peace, and future. So today, Minister Swaraj and I resolve to give further momentum to the heightened ties between our two countries' relations, working together ever closer bilaterally, but also as true partners serving together for regional peace and stability. We engaged in an overall review of our bilateral relations, focusing on follow-up implementation of agreements reached during the July summit. And more specifically, we had an extensive discussion on defense industry cooperation, people and cultural exchanges, substantial projects in trade, investment, infrastructure, science and technology, as well as on peace and security on the Korean Peninsula and regional and global issues. We agreed to continue high-level exchanges between our two countries and encourage further exchanges and cooperation between our parliaments and government agencies, including the police forces. The defense industry cooperation is an exemplary win-win field for our two countries. We discussed the Korean defense industry's exports to India, Korean companies' participation in India's defense industry corridor, and the RoK-India Defense Industry Roadmap. We also agreed to work to expand people-to-people exchanges through simplified visa procedures and exchanges of media professionals. Cultural exchanges were also discussed, including in the area of filmmaking. Minister Swaraj and I expect that bilateral trade and investment will continue to grow given our two countries' potential and complementary economic strengths toward achieving our goal of $50 billion by the year 2030. In this light, we committed to continued efforts for an early conclusion of the negotiations to upgrade the RoK India Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA. Welcoming Korean companies' growing participation in India's infrastructure projects, such as the Mumbai Coastal Road Project, we agreed to promote further collaboration in India's infrastructure development through the Republic of Korea's Economic Development Cooperation Fund. We also agreed to promote bilateral cooperation in various future-oriented fields centered around the RoK India Future Strategy Group, established on the occasion of the July summit. We also discussed cooperation in many other fields such as science and technology, transport, energy, and space. Minister Swaraj and I shared views on the situation on the Korean Peninsula and agreed to work closely together and to consult closely for the complete denuclearization of North Korea, as well as establishing permanent peace on the Korean Peninsula. Minister Swaraj welcomed my government's efforts in this regard and expressed continued support. We agreed to make joint efforts for peace and prosperity in our region through regional consultative mechanisms such as the East Asia Summit, ASEAN Regional Forum, and IORA, the Indian Ocean Rim Association, which the Republic of Korea joined recently as a dialogue partner. And we are also joining forces in addressing global security issues such as terrorism and cybersecurity, as well as collaboration in the international arena, such as the United Nations. I am very pleased with today's overall review of the remarkable achievements in our bilateral relations this year. And I trust that follow-up measures on all agenda items we discussed will be carried out expeditiously by the relevant government offices and related agencies on our two sides. Deepest thanks go to Minister Swaraj and India's Ministry of External Affairs for the excellent arrangements made for today's meetings. 2018 has been a very good year for our bilateral ties, and I am very confident that the new year will bring the Republic of Korea and India ever closer together in steadfast and expanding ties of friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. This concludes the press event. Thank you all for joining.